agree with you, but we have to get those thoughts out. You know, like I say, it might not do a bit of good. It very well might not, but it exists. It exists, sis. It really exists. And you're right. Everything starts in the mind. It starts in the mind. Now, we had a very good thing going on in the chat room the other night, and Renzi wanted me to bring this up. And like I said, this is open discussion today, y'all, so if y'all want to change the subject matter, just let me know. Hello, Lady Trouble. Good morning to you. Sis, yeah. I mean, even addressing it, like I said, it might not do a bit of good, but to get it off your chest, so to speak, might make a difference. So we're up under the presumption of might. Like I said, it might not do no good. It just might. So I ain't going to say it's a 50-50 thing, but it's crazy. But anyway, Renzi brought up a good thing to talk about the other day. Now, for those of you all that are parents, and you're dealing with this generation of young folks, a lot of us that grew up in our generation had parents that, in other words, didn't play that. And y'all know what I'm talking about with those type of parents. You better not come in late. Some parents, you better not come in with the street lights on. You better be in before the street lights come on. You better not come in after 10 o'clock. Sort of thing. Sort of thing. Now, do you think your parents had a good grasp on instilling that foundation in you? And basically what they instilled was fear. Sometimes you might have hated and mumbled up under your breath when they told you to do something. But here's the thing. We did it. We did that because of the fear of what might happen. Do you think our parents had a very good grasp on basically discipline? Do you think they had a grasp on discipline? And did it make a difference within us? I can't say this generation, but do you think their strictness gave you a foundation for you to be the person that you are today? Do you think? Do you think it had a grasp on it? And sis, you are 10 billion% right. These youth don't have a fear of anything. And there's a lot of parents that really, really try to instill in them the ways of yesterday. The ways that our parents instilled, but it don't work because they fear nothing. Yes, Big L, talk show too, bro. I try to be I ain't gonna say a renaissance man, but try to do a little bit of everything, man. But anyway, yeah, do you think that the way that our parents raised us gave us a foundation to be better, to be respectful, especially to our elders, especially to the elderly couple down the street? Do you think that set a standard within us Do y'all think that way of thinking that our parents instilled in us back then set us on a path to be better? That's a good question. That is a very good question. So, with our parents giving us a foundation of being respectful, yes sir, yes ma'am, opening the door, fellas, you treat your girlfriends right, you treat your wife right, you do right by folks, you treat others how you want to be treated. Where did that fall off the table at? Is it when the government stepped in and said, hey, you all can't discipline your kids? Did it fall off the table then? Or did it fall off the table when there's no more big mamas, big papas, papa? Because, you gotta look at the fact. These youth of today is so disrespectful. And just like my sister said, they don't care about nothing or anything. They have no fear. They have fear of nothing. And that is a waste of their talent. Because a lot of these youth today is very, very talented. Very talented. But they have fear of nothing. Fear of no consequences. Trouble said something that's very interesting. You can't teach what you're not taught. That is so very true. Now here's the thing. You got people right now today that don't have the common sense to get out of the rain. But the thing of it is, you was born with common sense. You were born with common sense. So how come people don't use the common sense that God gave them? Is it because of they're being defiant? They want to do what they want to do? Are they being defiant? Here's another thing too. Look at it now. Like I say, there's no more big mamas. There's no more papas. Here's the thing. How? You're going to be 35 years old and a grandma. I ain't saying nothing bad about, anybody, it's 35, that's a grandma. That's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? But the matter of fact, you can't teach, and I can't say this for everybody because I don't know everybody in that situation. It's some that we hear about. How are you going to teach your grandkids? How are you going to teach your kids when you're trying to be their friend? When you're smoking weed with them? When you, I'm not going to discipline my child, my grandchild. It was done to me and I didn't like it. But here's the thing. If you don't discipline your child, your grandchild, the streets will. The streets will discipline them. The streets has no rules. Y'all see in the news every single day. Back in the day, it used to be rules. No harming of women and children. There ain't no rules. This generation don't follow rules. And it's very, very sad. And sis, you're right. The element of respect was back in the day. It ain't here no more. nowhere. Sis, I agree with you. Now, how many of you all right now in the chat room, when you see an older person, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, or open the door for them, or whatever the case is? I still do it myself, and I'm 53. I do it to younger folks. But it's a matter of respect. That's the way I was raised. That's the way that I was raised. So, you got this generation with no respect, no regard for nothing. Where did it go wrong? Where did it go wrong, and was it a plan to destroy the family structure? Big L, you're right. You can't do what our parents did. You'll go to jail. You are 100% right, bro. So why is that? Why was that put in place? Was that put in place for a certain race of people? Was that put in place to break down the family structure? Why was that put in place? I believe it was in place. Like I said, this is my opinion. I believe it was in place to destroy the family structure. I really do believe that. Now, if I'm wrong, somebody let me know. But I really do believe that it was in place to destroy the family structure, and it got out of hand. It's too late for them to reverse course on. You can't discipline your children. If you do, you're going to jail. It's way out of proportion now. Nothing they can do about it. But the question is, why did they put that in place? And you guys are right. We can't do what our parents did so far as the discipline. We can't do that. Here's my thing. And my sis, she's got older young men. She does the best she can with them. She instills in them the best that she can. So we're talking about a female instilling the maleness in them through her to the best of her ability. Now, I've always heard that a female cannot raise young men. I've always heard that. I've always heard that. But here's the thing. If there's not a man around, who else is going to do it? Who else is going to take on that role? Nowadays, the days that we're living in now, a lot of men can't fill that role. They can't hold up to that male teaching to teach young men how to be young men. Big L, you're right. Your neighborhood had the right, back in the day, to whoop your ass if you got out of hand. You right. You are right. Now, back then, you know what's funny? What's funny about that statement? Back then, people made less money. Back then, jobs probably paid $5 an hour. Back then. But here's the thing. With that low pay back then, that meant a lot to have a job, to put food on the table. And a lot of us experience never not